Hey YouTube, so today we're gonna be looking at picking some lilacs because it's lilac season. We are in about mid-May here in southern Ontario, and we're gonna be making lilac syrup, maybe even lilac jam, and a little bit of lilac putty, as I would call it, which would be lilac with blueberry. As the video goes on, we'll see which ones we'll make, but for now we're just going to pluck a few of them and harvest them. So as we pick through the lilacs, it's important to distinguish which ones are going to be easier to harvest. So if you're looking at ones like this, these are going to be extremely hard to pluck after you've harvested them. We're going to be plucking each one individually. It'll be much easier to pluck and harvest ones that are fully open, flowers like this. So that's what you'd be looking for when you're plucking, and then that way when you're plucking them out, we're going to be taking them at the stem right about here. We're going to be taking them like that, but we'll be plucking them later on individually like this, so it'll be much easier to pluck them like that. Here we go, we get a container and we start picking them one at a time by hand. You don't need a knife, but if you want you can use scissors. Scissors do help. But we can just pick them like that. You'll need one full bag or a small pail of them to complete the task. Pick a few more here, just like that with the stem. There's plenty of them around here. There's absolutely no shortage, and they taste absolutely great. I'm looking forward to making either the jam with them, the syrup, or the putty, as I call it. Here's our progress so far. We got about half a bag. These are fun to pick and they smell great. Oh, they're so beautiful. Can't wait to taste them. Trying to go for the best ones. Keep in mind that if they're a little too far gone, a little bit too dry, they haven't opened up, don't pick them. Just pick ones up like this. These are ones that are on their way out. These are ones that you want to avoid picking. They're not going to taste good. They really fill up that basket really quick. Now your hands will get a little sticky, so if you want to wear gloves, you can wear gloves. You don't have to. It's not like a sugary sticky, it's just a slight sticky. So it's totally up to you. Now these ones here have a little bit more of the ones that are not open, but I'm starting to run out of options here, so I'm doing the best I can. And here's our end result. We've got almost a full bag. I'd say about 7/8 of a bag, which is more than enough because this bag is large. Plenty to make what we want to make. And we're back in the kitchen now, and what we're gonna end up doing is I'm gonna show you how I cut these ones here. So what I end up doing is trim off any sticks that are in the way or that are a little bit too long. And this is just an example of some of them. I already did all of them, and I'll show you how much I did. I'll show you in a bag how many of them I did. But what you want is you basically want this part, that part right there, as the collection point. Okay, so that's kind of what you want. So as you go through some of these, you're gonna pick out the brown stuff, the bad stuff, and you're gonna collect just the nice stuff right there. So we'll pick it all through, just like that one there. That one there. A few of them here. So anyways, this is just an example, but basically I already did them all, so I just wanted to show you guys that, you know, I trim them up, I cut them up like that. You can use some of these that are not opened, it's okay, just don't have too many of them in there so they don't change the flavor, but most of them should be open like that one there, so they look a little bit more like this. So they look a little bit more like that. And once you're done, you're gonna have something like this. We're gonna take that, put it into a Ziploc bag or a container of your choosing. We get ourselves a measuring container, something along the lines of this, and we put about 2 cups worth of it inside. And this is exactly, or should be exactly, 2 cups worth. So, and that looks like it's exactly 2 cups. So we're perfect right there. So with 2 cups of lilacs, we're going to go ahead and put it into a pot. I'm going to put one of these heat rings here so I don't damage the table. And then I'm going to take a pot, any pot that you'd like. And you pour both cups. You pour both cups into the pan so it looks like this. Absolutely beautiful. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pour hot water onto it. So for 2 cups of lilacs, we're going to do 2 cups of boiling water. And I'm going to use one of these measuring cups, which has got 1 cup at the very top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the water in. Boiling water, that is 1 cup there. Now I'm going to do 1 more cup, because it's supposed to be 1-to-1 ratio, and that's the 2nd cup. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it around a little bit, and I'm going to allow it to simmer in just like a tea would. And once all of these are wet and soaked in, what we're going to do is we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes. And we're going to let them infuse just like a tea for about 10 minutes. I'm going to pat them down so they're all covered. And the water is going to turn color, and you'll see that the water turns color after this. It is optional, but I put a lid on it for that 10 minutes. About 10 minutes done. So the way it looks here is it should be pretty much ready. You can see it's lost its color, it's turned different color, but you can see that the actual water gained the color. So now what we're going to do is we're going to end up straining this into another pot, like so. And we're going to get a strainer, and we're going to dump it all in to another pot. And I'm gonna take the spoon and I'm gonna press it down to get the rest of the juice out of it, or the tea as you might want to call it. There we go. Still some coming out. Alright, I'll put that aside and have a look at this beautiful color. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, we got a little floater in there. That's one. Get that one out. And there's another one right there. Get that one out. There we go. That's what the color looks like. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And the brand that I'm using is this brand right here. It doesn't really matter what you use, but I prefer the organic lemon juice. So I'll do 1 tablespoon of this. This is an important step because if you miss this step, it's not gonna settle or work. And we're gonna mix it, and as we're mixing it, you're gonna notice the color is gonna change into a beautiful lilac pinkish color. Now at this point, you can go ahead and you can, if you'd like to, you can add blackberries or blueberries. Just crush them and then add them in there. A tablespoon or 2 of them just for flavoring, whatnot, if you want to. That's optional. I'm not going to do it this time around. I'm just going to go ahead and take the whole thing and put it on the stove, and we're going to end up boiling this, okay? It's a little bit over medium on heat, maybe about 1 notch above medium, and we'll let it slowly boil. Once it slowly boils, we are going to be adding some pectin to it. This is the one that I use. You don't have to use this one. You can use a low sugar one if you want to, or this is regular liquid pectin. And they come in little pouches like this. Now this pouch here is 85 ml, which is too much for what we need. This is over 3 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that package open, and I'm going to do just a hair less than 1 ounce. That's going to go into this recipe. So we're doing 2 cups of water, 2 cups of lilacs, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and just under 1 ounce of the liquid pectin. And we've got our pouch. I'm going to mix it a little bit, make sure it's okay. And I'm going to cut that top corner as per the instructions here. And now I'm going to go ahead and pour in about 1 ounce. There we go. I corrected it. That's just under 1 ounce, so 0.95 of an ounce is good. And we're going to go ahead and add that to the pot once it boils. And mix it in and let it boil once the pectin is all in there. Now it's important to mix the pectin in before you mix the sugar in. If you put them in at the same time, the jelly will not set. So that's something to keep in mind. Add a little bit into this glass. Mix it around so more of it comes out. And that should be the majority of it. There we go. That's that. And now we're going to add some sugar to it. It's important to have this ratio 1:1. It's about 1.5 there. It's almost like baking. It will not set the jelly if the ratios are not right. So you want to get it as close as possible to have it set out and work out for you. And that ends up being 2 cups right there. And now we're going to go ahead and add that sugar in and mix it in slowly. And once it mixes in, we're going to go ahead and set this up so that it gets to a boiling point and boils. So we want all of this to boil and blend in nicely. Once again, I stress the fact that the ratio has to be 1:1. So if you did 2 cups of water in here and 2 cups of lilacs and added pectin to it and lemon, we're definitely going to need to do 2 cups of sugar, okay? This is going to be an absolutely fantastic jelly. You can see the color is coming through beautifully. That is a beautiful color. And we're going to continue mixing until we bring it to a boil. And once it boils, we're going to end up putting into either a jar or a container where you want to keep it in. If you want to pressure can it or water bath it, you can do that. If you want to just keep it in the fridge, it'll stay good for about 4 weeks, and you can consume it during those 4 weeks. So now you see the sugar's dissolved, and we have this type of consistency right here. Okay, we're going to let that boil for a minimum of 1 to 2 minutes. About 2 minutes would be ideal. Be careful, it's really hot when you're pouring it into your jars. And we'll see, and on to the next step. And now we can take it off the heat once it's boiled for 1 to 2 minutes. And we're gonna set up 2 jars in our case. You can put it into whatever you like. And a little spout. Make sure it's not one of those plastic ones. The metal ones are a lot better, the stainless ones. So then I'll add that to that. Be very careful not to burn yourself. It is a lot hotter than regular hot water. Keep that in mind. I'm gonna leave a little bit of head space in case I decide to hot bath one of these. There we go. It's looking beautiful. The color is really nice as well. And it's really hot, so I'm gonna let these cool down, and then if I decide to, I'm going to put them in the fridge. If not, then I'm gonna do a hot bath on them, and then with the hot bath I'll lock them in, and then they're shelf stable for a long time, for well over a year. If you want a hot bath video, please let me know in the comments down below. If somebody requests me to do that, I will definitely make a video on hot. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.